I'll be going with it. But the regulars know that by all means, I'll have a safe landing, preparing for an extinct future. I mean, but I think Abiku's one was Warrior King on Broken Legs. I wonder what I talked. I wonder what I talked about. But today I'm talking about preparing for an extinct future. Folks, for some years now, I've been hosting some foreign students from Lagos. They come there to do their course, and as part of their course, they are led by Dr. Ama Opokuajimai. And then they, you know, come to the palace. I don't know if it's part of the course, maybe to get a traditional feel, but they come to the palace. So initially, we meet them and go through the meet and greet protocol, the traditional style, then drumming, do a bit of kete, do a bit of adowa, maybe a bit of boma, and we try to teach them a few moves, create a happy atmosphere for them. But then I thought if they have come to the palace to learn, why not a little lecture on a subject, relating to culture and tradition? This, caught on and instantly, became a hit for them because, I mean, I just pick one topic, just go through it, and then after we just have, questions and answers, and I try and get the protocols. And don't speak through a chami and all that business. Let's just have a little classroom setting in the palace, and they really, really love that. So they continue to come. We are honored to have them. Now, just 10th February gone, they visited, as they do. And this time when they came, they were all female students. So I decided to talk to them about the significance of women in our culture. Now, usually we go through an introduction. All right, they get up, Tinka from, Tanika from New York, Inohara from Tokyo, Mizuma from Rwanda, Obiabonidini Krofiso, on and on and on. But this time I decided to ask them, what they were studying in school. Now I sat back calmly, but inside me there was a great panic and a sudden awakeness and realization. Social media and its impact on development in Africa and Eastern Europe. Is that an essay or is that a course you're reading? Folks, social justice in law in relation to women and something. I mean, everybody gets up and their course is like 3 lines long, specific, targeted. And I'm there thinking, is anybody going to get up and tell me they're doing HR? These were so specific. Folks, the course they were doing sounded like essay topics. They were just too tailored and specific. None of them got up to say HR or marketing or business management. No. So you can see why I panicked. Is this the sign of the times? I mean, they were being prepped for a future that will exist. I was thinking, is this future, will it exist in their world? Or does it apply to us too? Folks, am I panicking for nothing, or have I got a cause too? Because you see, our education is very, very broad. Now, looking at the future, will our broad nature of education cut it? Now, it may do, because we live in 2 different worlds. However, the world is becoming global. Folks, because of the broad nature of our education, most of our students, they go far, be a Form 3, crowd, and say, what do you want to do? I tells you, I don't know what I want to do. Because they haven't narrowed him or her down to anything yet. It's still still they're still trying to find their feet. They're still trying to find their feet. So I'm here listening to these ladies, and I'm thinking, how are our children going to compete or fit in this world? But again, I know that the worlds are also with a global village, but then the worlds are now separate. So maybe for their worlds, they need that side of education. And that in our world, maybe we can continue with our broad nature for a little while. But for how long? Because we are all using the same apps, the same phones, the same internet. And lo and behold, AI is coming with so much speed. I don't even know if we have to have a law to regulate, to slow it down a bit. I don't know. Because otherwise, folks, what will happen is our children will go to school and come out with flying colors and get first class degrees. So when they get up to pick the certificates, all the professors will stand up and get up. And within 5 years' time, that profession is no more in. If we are not careful, we will spend fortunes, time, energy, and educate our children. And by the time they leave school, nobody wants that certificate or that profession for anything. Because some button somewhere can just do it. Some button somewhere you just press in, some app will just do it. And that's why I was calling for those of you who are teachers, those of you who are parents, those of you who are educationists. We must probably revolutionize our education soon. I must applaud the education minister. He seems to be doing what he's doing a lot. Building his schools and moving up and down and bringing STEM and everything, moving a lot. But I don't know if it's enough. He's doing a lot, but I don't know if it's enough. And maybe you can also, educate me on that. Oh, maybe Nana, we are also catching up here. So, we are catching up A, or we are catching up from B, or we're catching up from C. But I feel that there's a lot of mass production in our education, and now you have to be thankful that you got you got the opportunity to also pass through a school. So be thankful. But I'm saying that maybe we need to put the brakes on and start tailoring and directing our children towards some of these things. Because otherwise, just the ability to speak and write will not be enough to get you a job in their future. In ours, yes, what's an interview now, that's it. But in their world, I don't know if it will cut it. That you spoke eloquently, or so that's it. Social media on its impact and developmental impact on Africa and Eastern Europe. Really? Really? And so then if you just study HR and you come, what are you going to do? People have got accounting apps now. They are just whacking their figures in the apps, and they are getting a balance sheet or a book, printed out for them. So you go to school and do accounting for, God knows how many years, and come, and there's an app on some guy's phone that's doing the work. School will be the app. So unless you go beyond the app and do something more, you may be wasting your time. And so today I want us all to just have a conversation on this thing. That the world is changing so fast. And is our education responding to what our children are going to face in the future? So yes, you have one or two that about schools who are up to the game with some programs and some things who are parents, they seem to be there. But the majority, the great majority, are not up to speed. The great majority are not up to speed. And so what sort of future are they going to face? When AI is overloaded, the whole world is full of apps, and nobody needs your services anymore because they can just sit down, press a button, and get it done. There will be no need for bank tellers. There will be no need for bank tellers to do what? You come in, slot your cash into the machine. It tells you put in 100 cedis. Are you okay with that? Yes, I'm okay with that. Click. Message comes on your phone. You go home. And somebody's gotten a first degree hoping to be a bank teller. And so many other professions will just be wiped out. Now, once they are wiped out, what then happens? What then happens? It may be slow to come to this side of the world, but like if you go to, the advanced worlds now, there are no more parking attendants. There are cameras. As soon as you drive in, it tells you that if you stay for 20 minutes, they will charge you this. And truly, 21 minutes, they will send you a message to say, hey, you've overstayed, they've charged you. Whereas once upon a time, there will be somebody there walking up and down in the car park and giving tickets. Nejuma say. They don't need him anymore. You get to a bank and there's nobody there. Just put in your money. You go to Gatwick Airport and there's a whole section of the airport. You do your checking yourself and you throw your bag on the thing to go and say, so airport, I want somebody to serve me. There's nobody at the airport. You check in yourself, you put your bag on the conveyor belt, it goes in, go and wait for the plane, and then you go. Very soon, they'll tell you they don't even need a pilot. Just get on the plane, push the button, say, you do London and Messi. You get out. How are we responding to this sort of world that is coming? There will be no space for, 2 million people were able to go, 3 million people were able to go. To go and do what? To go and do what? So I figure that we should come together, look at our world. Maybe not necessarily that by all means, because it's been done in America, we should do America or we should do Germany. But we must look in our world and see where it will cross. And at that point, we should have our students ready. Sciences education, I will let you talk. I will let you talk because you will have to educate me. 0302216541. Folks, how are we preparing our children for their future? This is our future. We are living our future. But how about theirs? Driverless cars, teacherless classrooms. Hello, who's talking to me?
Hello, Nana.
Yes, sir.
Class prefect.
Shamu. Yes, sir. Let me hear you.
Big shout out to Guy Fox in Tama. Maji Award. Nana, the message for today is, you see, nobody has given anybody the responsibility to attempt at resetting the world. Now, there are a few elites who always want to dictate the pace of how the world should go. We, as an independent country, we should have our own policy. Now, the fossil fuel only yet to know if it hasn't benefited Ghana, and Ghana has not contributed, let's say, 2 or 3% to depletion of the ozone layer. Why do we have to go neck to neck with, let's say, China or any of those industrial countries when they have destroyed the environment such that now they are pushing and shoving things down our neck whilst we haven't benefited from the natural things we have around us. So I say it is something that is inevitable. But we, the ones that have the resources that should benefit us, we don't need to go their way. We don't need to dance to their tune, you see, because ASANA is like, they always want to take the leap of faith and then start with this whole technological advancement, and then you always need to play catch up. Yeah, fossil fuel on the car, you took car, you can refine the car, Ghana. Do you get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a very thin line between we trying to adjust. Yes, when it comes to our phones and stuff, we would be able to maybe do or give way to AI helping us here and there. But when it comes to the structure of us, the core of us, come on, that one, our government can tell us that we won't. If we are mining the petrol or the fossil fuels, we would use it to build our economy. When we get to perhaps your standard that you got, then we can also migrate into that system. Mm-hmm. Because if we do it too hurriedly, if we do it too much, we will always be playing catch up to them. Just look at electric vehicles now. Mm-hmm. How many charging stations do we have? Do we even have the power supply to charge the number of vehicles we claim we want to do? You see, we always want to challenge ourselves beyond what we don't even want. But you will see our politicians trying to push us and shove us in the direction, whilst it's just a few elites who want to control that sector. They want to control it because they don't want the countries who produce fossil fuels to dictate to them. So they want to have control over something. And they are using all these electric vehicles and things to control us. Thank you very much, Nana.
Thank you. 0302216544. Hello, who's talking to me?
Nana, please, this is Chukati from Akotia.
Let me hear you, my brother.
My facilitator, myself.
Okay.
Yes, I think as a country, we should be grateful that we have someone like Dr. Educhum as our education minister now.
Yeah.
Because if you look at what the good doctor is trying to achieve, I mean, he's giving us a leap to where we have to be as a country.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at our education system from Nkrumah's time to Jerry to President Kufuor, between Jerry was supposed to give us vocational skills. That's why he set up the polytechnics.
Mm-hmm.
Kufuor brought us this 4 year, 3 year. We didn't really know what was happening. But with Dr. Educhum, what we are seeing is there is a specific direction. Listen, we are going in the direction of let the children explore, discover, let them make mistakes. They will make mistakes, yes, but let them make mistakes in a controlled atmosphere and let them discover. What we should do is that, what I think is happening is that the resources for the man is too limited. That one has to be said.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a country where our MPs, I always say this, our MPs and ministers ride in V8 while hospitals do not have operating or theater lamps. So it's either we commit resources to our education sector as a country, like now you are saying, what are we doing? Even as a facilitator, sometimes these kids ask me questions and sometimes I go like, wow, if I don't take care, one day I'll be out of a job. And sometimes you ask these young ones, what do you want to become when you grow up? Somebody will say, I don't know. Last year, my students, some were going to write WASI, and they came to me and say, what should I do when I get to the university? These are 8A students, Urana, 8A students.
Wow.
They don't even know what they are going to do there. You have to say, when you do this, what do you become? Say, when you do this, what do you become? So, Nana, I think Dr. Educhum deserves our commendation for just like giving us the pedestal to be there. What he's doing is very, very commendable. And I think that man deserves commendation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, too. 0302216541. Hello, who's talking to me?
Yeah, Nana, good evening. This is Benjamin from Adenta.
Benjamin, let me hear you.
Yeah, today I wanted to just sit back and listen as I do sometimes.
Sure.
But just to follow up on the first caller's point and also state some other points that I have. I mean, we can't say that because people were using fossil fuel back in the day to develop their economies, and they are still doing it anyway, they should wait because we are discovering them, and that when we are also done developing, then we can also go the way they are going. I don't think that's how the world works. I mean, if you don't catch up with the technologies, you will be left behind. And nobody actually asked you not to discover your fuels and use them long ago. It's like somebody builds a car. You can't go and build the very first Ford car. If you see it, it's like a tricycle. You can't go and tell me today because you are starting to build a car, you are going to go that tricycle way. No, you are going to go the electric way. That is the way you're supposed to go. And I like this program that you're doing today because it's highly informative. Africa, Ghana especially, we are being left behind, and it's time for policy. I mean, yes, it's true. We are having this artificial intelligence that are going to take away jobs. And already in other parts of the world, as it's enumerated, they are taking the jobs. You know, Africa, we pride ourselves in giving birth to a lot of children, overpopulation here and there because we say we are producing workforce. Go to Germany, go to other parts of the world. They are producing lesser human beings because they know that they only need human beings to come and be working on their machines in the future. So they have a plan. So why can't we also have a plan? Why, the people are even producing, can't even feed them, you know. So, but the world is moving, and it must also move. We were supposed to start thinking about how can we get people to man the artificial intelligence infrastructure. Well, that's what will happen. Even if you don't need a teller in the bank, you need somebody with that idea to man or to be somebody who is responsible for the machines. Somebody who wants to do accounting. The person ought to acquire skills that would help the person be able to be in charge of the artificial control systems within the bank or something. That's how the world is moving. And I was following up on some technological news recently, and that is what the West is saying. So now they are going to be creating the professionals, all right, but they will need fewer people. So in the end, it's human beings who will still be in charge of those machines. Are we doing that? What is our policy when it comes to that? We shouldn't be running away from some of these things. If you are Minister of Education, it is time to get to work, not to send your children abroad to go in school. Yeah, they are getting the best there. What about here? Thank you very much, Nana, for your program today.
Thank you very much for the call to 0302-216-541. And hello, who's talking to me?
Hello, Nana, this is Kobna.
Kobna, let me hear you.
Hey, Nana, with this topic, I don't know whether it's restricted to education or...
Well, I think we can limit it to the future that is ahead of us. And if we are equipping children enough for that future. So it could be...
Well, like you said... Like you said, you're right. It means we need counseling and guiding in schools so that, like you said, we can direct our children to the trades. That's where the jobs are safe and secured, the trades. That's what you've been talking about, right? But I think I disagree with you that our education is broadened. Like, we do a lot of stuff. At least.
No, I said general.
Elementary
we do a lot
level,
we do a lot of general, general, rather than like tailored or specific.
Yeah, but I heard you mention list the topic. I think it might not be let's say a course in the university. It might be maybe a topic in the classroom or something. So all I'm saying is I disagree with you when you say our education is broadened. At least it should be broadened at the base, because you need the children to have the fundamentals, right? The fundamentals. As they go up the ladder, then you can choose what you want to do. Like you said, the world is moving towards advanced technology and advanced science. So we need to also invest in it. We need to do an investment, a huge investment, so that we can catch up. But when it comes to the environment, like the guy was saying, nobody is forcing us to adhere to what the West is doing. Look at China. China industrialized without even listening to America and Europe. They industrialized, and after they had industrialized, that's when they are now starting to clean their environment. So we Ghanaians too, we don't need to kowtow to all these green energy and all that stuff. We need to have a plan, a GTP plan by Alan Chamantin, where we industrialize. Let's industrialize. If we can take 10 years, 20 years to industrialize, let's industrialize. And then after we have industrialized, we can do the environmental cleaning. That's it.
Thank you very much, my brother. 0302216541. Hello, and who's talking to me?
Claude calling from Tema.
Claude, let me hear you.
Yes, Nana.
Yeah.
You know, when the Minister of Trade wanted to place some restriction on certain goods from being imported into this country, you heard the noise that came up. But then, if these restrictions are not placed, how can we create industries? Those in the universities coming out, if they want to go to entrepreneurship, maybe processing rice, oil palm, cocoa, into various things, if we don't place restrictions, where would they have opportunities to work? And I think that is where we have to focus now, not government sector employment. Don't go to university to stop entrepreneurship. Come out, your mind is broadened, you can look at opportunities, take advantage of them, and create your own industry. The one who did KFC, you know, I don't think that is his profession. He went on retirement ahead and started from what the mother was cooking at home, improved it. It's all over the world now. So somebody from here can look at our cocoa, you know, turn it into something. Gradually, it will spread all over the world. I think that should be our focus. So the restrictions on some of these imported things, we need to look at it critically. Buta, you know, they are making money for themselves. So when you talk about restrictions, they wouldn't agree to it.
Thank you very much. There, 0302216541. Hello, who's talking to me?
Hello, Nana.
Yes, sir.
This is Ben. I'm calling from Ansah Kwao.
Ben, let me hear you.
Yeah. You see, when you started with the topic, I have sat down and been listening to the submissions that people are making, and then using the AI as my centerpiece to make a reason. You see, I remember one time my dad made a statement that it's much now with fear. We were born in money fear, so who do number pim from? So like you'll be in your house and somebody will be having a party in his or her house, and then you'll be tapping your feet. Meaning that the AI that is getting hands now, it is better, as you're saying, we start building our future around it. Because no matter what we would want to do, definitely, it will be affected, either here or when we go out. So we want to take this thing out of politics, out of any affiliations or any government. The stakeholders, the education system should rise up to it. Because if not, a time will come, we will all be sitting without doing any work. We will not getting anything from anywhere. We will be in our home, and the music that we're playing with the AI will be affecting us. So please, let's take a holistic decision around this with the education sector and see what they can put in place from the scratch now to help our children as they are going up into the future. We are living our future now, but they are getting ready to face their future. What happens if when they get there, this AI has taken over? And then they have no idea, they don't have no information, they don't know what to do with this system. It means our world is going to collapse. So our stakeholders in the education sector should please rise up to this task. They better start it now, or they should also get ready to destroy the future of our little ones, which should not be. It's a very sensitive thing. We need to face it head on. Seriously. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hello, and who's talking to me?
Nana Kwesi.
Nana Kwesi, let me hear you.
Okay, so Nana Emfa. Nana, Ghana is how many years old? You see, you don't want it to be better. It's far from that. You see, from where we started with Komano and all the things that he did, it's like we had a certain form of foundation to everything, whereby by now we've built so much on it. We've made great improvements after him. The man wasn't perfect. Yes, he had certain things wrong, but we saw some of the things that he did which made a lot of sense back then, which would have been significant today. But when one of my brothers mentioned how we have cocoa and we should have, didn't we have cocoa processing whatever back then? What happened to it? We have oil. What is happening to talk? And do you understand what I'm saying? We have oil. What is happening to talk? The place is not even functioning. Black men, the same people are ourselves. So if I'm hearing about AI and tech being left behind us, yeah, we deserve it. Maybe to change when the little children right now, one of them, the evolution starts with them, and one of them gets to be president one day, and some of them get to occupy this national high decision making positions whereby they will affect this city. But this is when you go to see away, they travel, they experience what is happening out there. But what do they bring here? How much the baby crana? As you say, I say they didn't see anything. You see, you the money that will be invested in it. When they tell you that this is what this money was used to do, you ask yourself, say, so you now, if it was your private money, will you use it to do that? What you are saying you use it to do? Now we are saying we are supplying high schools with free Wi-Fi. Go, you check. Anka baby, Adelaide. It's good initiative, but go and check. People are being paid. Oh, it has been just Lego here, preset here. It's there, but go and check. Go and check. Meanwhile, they are paying the people who is the company that is responsible for it. You're trying to go for what? For just installing or providing better service. Nana, ever.
Okay, so folks, all I'm saying is that, you see, this is our future. Nanakwesi gave a good example of Nkrumah. At the time of Nkrumah, it was industrialization. You had to industrialize, and so the factories here, factories there, factories here. And when you build the factories, you needed bodies, men and women, to go in there, somebody to screw this, somebody to unscrew, somebody to pack this, that. Now, people are using robots to screw and unpack and pack. You ask them why, tell you the robot doesn't need a tea break or doesn't have to go to the bathroom. The robot's in-law won't die for it to go to a funeral that weekend. The robot won't get bitten by a mosquito. It's always there. Whether it's electric or oil or whatever, as soon as you put it in there, bam, you're working 12 hours, 18 hours. And so instead of now hiring, let's say, 250 people in the factory, they go 50. And the 50 people are just overseeing the machines doing the work that 200 people would have done. So at the end of the month, instead of paying 200 people, maybe 2,000, 3,000, 500, 5,000 each, nothing. Wafasa Scanina just plugs the machines. No. They're making more money. They are doubling their production. And this is the world our children are going to meet. Now, if we train the children to go and pack rather than go and fix the robots packing, they may face a challenge. And that's what I'm asking. Say, are we equipping our children enough for the world ahead? Hello, who's talking to me?
Hello, Nana.
Yes, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening.
This is Godson.
Let me hear you, Godson. It's been a while.
Yes, please. Nana, so thank you so much for today's program. Here is the thing. We make everything so broad that we don't know where we are leading ourselves to. Now, there's this thing that is called vision. And where there is no vision, the people perish. We don't seem to know the direction we want to go as a people. Now, take for instance, a person goes to school and reads a course called political science. Like, what specific work will he do when he graduates with first class in political science? Maybe probably he will join a political party, and then every morning he will be on radio and be defending that which is indefensible. Now, if we are a country that wants to be serious, we should focus on things that matter to us. We should be able to feed ourselves first. You see, there's this thing we learned in school. It said Maslow's theory of needs. If you can't feed yourself, you can't do any other thing. But if we want to just fly from the ground to the top, just like that, we will struggle. And that's what we've been trying to do. So we go to the white, we see they are doing something, and we come back and we say, Charlie, when we went to South Africa, we saw SkyTrain. Let's also do it. We went to this place, we saw them there. Let's also do it without us thinking as to whether the thing we are going to do, we have built structures that it can stand on. But if there's no structures, why are we trying to roof the building first before we build the foundation? Let's build our roads. Let's build a rail. There should be a rail that is connecting Kumasi to Accra. In 2 hours or less, you should be able to move from Tamale to Kumasi or from Kumasi to Accra. Then we can open our educational system in such a way that we teach our students towards a certain direction. Now, when you go to school, people go to senior high school and they are reading a course called General Arts. You ask yourself, so which one is General Arts? Where exactly is it leading you? Because people are doing robotics. People are doing all kinds of softwares. People are going to space. And we cannot even define who exactly we are. If we continue doing this, we have a police system, a security system. The people we push into the security system are people from SHS. People who virtually have no idea about what life is actually. We push them into the security system because we still think that policing is about, hey, my friend, you are not my friend. Meanwhile, people have advanced out of that place. If we don't define ourselves, Nana, we can never, ever reach the standard of these people.
Thank you very much. That's Godson Tenge. Hello, and who's talking to me?
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
It's William from Flagman.
William?
From United States of Flagman.
Oh, William, let me hear you.
Then I keep on asking myself this question, and the caller before me also asked the same question. When someone did political science in school and this circuit comes out, what does that person do? You see, this is a big question I've been asking myself. So it looks like education is of no value to me in my family. Yes, because you go to school at the end of the day, you come and you have to work in a factory that day in, day out, they are advancing to use the robots and the stuff you are talking about. So at the end of the day, when my son goes to school and comes back and he has a certificate that cannot even make him get a job done in Ghana, then where are we heading towards? See, it has been a big problem we have to tackle from this time. Even long ago, but no one is bothering this. I thank God you are doing this program, and this program should continue. Then we see the way forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you too very much. I thank you too very much. 0302216541. Hello, who's talking to me?
Saint OJ.
Saint, let me hear you.
Okay. I like the topic because I think the set misconception people had set out, and it's almost the same thing we are also saying here. And so, Nana, is everybody saying that if we have 3 million people going into school, they should all go and study the same thing? Is that what they are saying?
No.
No. And I think that the first misconception should also get is that school is not for jobs. That it's not like I'm going to school to get a job. It is not correct. School is supposed to open up your mind so you can think and do what is proper and what is right. So that where you're put, you can function. And the argument you're making this evening is like when a fish is swimming in the sea and sees a bird flying, then another fish says that, can't you see people are flying? So the bird and the fish must all go and do the same thing. No. Even the whole world doesn't work like that. It is not all countries in the world that produce cars. Even there are some advanced countries, they don't produce cars. Some produce just milk, and they are making it, and I'm sure you know about that.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're talking about specialization, fine. But don't say that why should somebody go and do political science or general art and all that, and somebody's asking, this same person is asking, how do we define ourselves? It is in the general art that we define ourselves. It is where we learn our languages. It is where we learn about a whole lot of things that we need to complement the science and the technology. So you don't sit anywhere and assume that everybody should go and learn the same thing. No, the world doesn't work like that. We need all the angles. And Nana, there's specialization. If you go to the secondary schools, there are different courses for people to do. People are doing science, people are doing business, people are doing that. And it is always a choice. It's the same with the university. You go with a choice. As I speak, I teach in a Cambridge institution, and we do all these things in Cambridge institution. You don't have to scrap them and say they are wrong or they are bad.
Okay, let me engage you a little bit before you go. I mean, not to defend anybody. I'm just thinking that, if those who do political science can really direct policy, so that if there's a political decision being made, I'm sure a political scientist can say that, listen, this political decision has been taken before, and the reasons or the repercussions were bad or good, so can advise policy. But I think the concern is, if you look at Ghana, what we need, where opportunities are, and where the education goes, if it tallies, i.e., we're more agrarian, we need more skilled rather than clerical. So when you're educating more clerical than skills, then it becomes a matter of concern. I think that's what you're saying.
No, even that one is also not true.
Okay.
Because those who are into the clericals are even they form the minority. Because people are still doing science, people are still doing agric science. They are even more than those doing general arts.
Really?
Yes. And believe you me,
87%
banks today would want to recruit somebody who did religion at the university. Do you know why?
Because
once the person's mind is trainable, all you need to do is to add a little bit of training. I didn't do AI, but I use AI today. Where did I learn it? Once the mind is open, anything can pass through.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. But see, I get you that, okay, I've done religion, I've got masters in religion, so the bank wants to hire me. But then now the bank hires an AI technology and renders my religion useless. So that's why I'm saying that, are we training the child to equip themselves to be able to go and program that AI in the bank so that they still stand the opportunity? Well, thank you very much for that call. Lady in White is here. First is here to give you your news bulletin. Kofi Hayford is on standby with some soul-searching songs. Abeku was on the ones and twos. I am Ansah Kwao the fourth. God willing, next Monday we'll be back to do this all over again.